Omni CD, so you can see your teammates' abilities. You need to set
Naturally.
up Omnibar, so you can track the enemy abilities.
Of course.
And then on top of that,
Yeah.
you're gonna need to get details. So whenever you get
Yeah,
one
of
shot, you
course.
can try to figure out what killed you immediately.
Right. You go back, look at the death recap.
Okay, now let me know when you get all of that set
Yeah,
up.
so you have to get all that, and then also not only download it, right, but you also have to set it up.
Okay, great. Now your gear still sucks, so you're
Yeah.
gonna have to grind that out for a little bit to be on an even playing field.
Yeah.
And I know
Nobody
you're
wants to
just
put
getting
someone
one
up
shot
gear.
all over the place, but you're gonna figure it out eventually. And that's why you need to download Mez's Weak Aura packet.
Oh, there's another. Oh, there's a weak. Oh, we forgot about the weak aura packet. So that's a set. Yeah,
because
true.
even though you're not exactly
True.
sure what's gonna kill you, when enough horns and whistles go off, you'll be able
Yeah.
to figure it out. Okay, and then it's like, what the fuck? I'm Alt F4.
Uh-huh.
Okay, like that's why.
Well, he wasn't even halfway done. And then the best part is you do all of the things that you could do, and you're like, all right, it's time to play arena. Well, I guess I'll join this group. Declined. No, can I play these guys? No, declined. Nobody will play with you. Because you don't have any rating. You don't have achievements that go back 10 years.
people are a little intimidated when it comes to World of Warcraft.
Yeah,
PvP.
you gotta play solo shuffle.
Now,
exactly.
imagine that same person tunes into like a Counter-Strike tournament
Yeah.
and he's watching Fraud. Fraud probably hasn't played in a million years, but it's all I know. Okay, he's watching Fraud from Complexity from 2008, op people. And he's like, oh my god, Fraud's so good at opping, I want to op. And then he downloads the game and starts playing.
Yep.
And that's it. The end. You know, like it's a pretty jarring comparison.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's the biggest obstacle when it comes to World of Warcraft PvP. What's up, Zarya? It's the big
And people can appreciate being good at Counter-Strike. Like somebody who has never played Counter-Strike can watch you get a headshot really fast and be like, nice, good one. Somebody that sees you make a really good play in WoW is like, the game's over and they're like, well, did you win?
biggest obstacle when it comes to World of Warcraft is it's very difficult. An MMORPG,
Yeah.
and listen, I have to give a lot of credit to the developers because for us who've been around for a long time, the gearing process has gotten a lot better over time.
It has.
You know what I mean?
That's
Like
true.
I do think there's a lot of positives to this expansion. I feel like they've done a really good job making it more convenient and better for us.
That's true.
But
True.
that doesn't change the fact that it is extremely complicated to play this game. If you were
Well, it's also the game is super complex. Like that's it, and also like not it, like maybe World of Warcraft shouldn't be an esport. Like not every game needs to be an esport.
a new player in World of Warcraft, good luck is
It's
all
an
I'm
MMO.
saying. Good frickin' luck, you know. So that's why I think a lot of people, as sad as it is to say,
Yeah.
and I think it's important to at least admit this because then maybe in the future we can move forward and make it better for people to, you know, try World of Warcraft and play PvP because that would be ideal. But I think it's important to admit that
If they want people to try PvP and play WoW again, they need to cut out literally 80% of all the buffs and debuffs and probably 50% of the abilities. Just flat out reduce CC by like 60, 70%. The game is fucking fried, man. You're absolutely fucking fried. Like I showed that. Do I still have it up? Look at this. What the fuck is this? What the fuck? It's still there. Meanwhile, in Classic WoW, there's like 2 debuffs, and that's it.
it's a lot easier for people to just play other games. You just log on and
Yeah.
play. That's it. Like you just play League, you just play Dota, you just play Counter-Strike, you just whatever you want. You know what I mean? The issue is the elitism. The elitism shouldn't even exist though. You think when I play Overwatch I care about elitism? No. I just queue up and I can play.
Yeah.
I download Overwatch and I play. There's no elitism. I just get ranked. There's enough people playing where I just queue, and if I suck, I get
Right.
put into bronze, and if I'm pretty good, then I get put into, you know, gold, and if I'm a little better than good, I get to be diamond, and
Sure.
you know what I mean? I'm just playing against people that are relatively skill level. There's no elitism gatekeeping it. The only reason there's elitism is because I feel like the community is relatively small, so it's hard to actually get into groups. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where I think solo shuffle, this is actually what I believe. I believe, and people are going to hate me for saying this, I believe the future of WoW PvP is solo shuffle.
Oh, he's completely right. He's 100% right. Nobody wants to have to log on and wait for 2 other people to get on to be able to play the game in any sort of a competitive way. Absolutely.
And I think there is a lot
And
of things
also,
that,
like, it's obvious that it's the future. Because everybody's playing solo shuffle and nobody's playing arena. So why is it that everybody, as soon as you gave them a solo queue option, they all quit playing arena? There you go.
that need to be done to make it as ideal as possible. But I'm telling you, a solo queue mode is the only reason that I feel like World of Warcraft gains popularity in PvP. And I think in season 1 of
I think that it is impossible for WoW to gain popularity in PvP unless they completely revamp the game from the ground up. Like, I'm talking about, like, bigger than Cataclysm, bigger than Legion. I'm talking about back to basics, all the way back to, like, vanilla WoW, and build up from there. It's too much. It's just, like, nobody is going to watch this shit. Reset everything.
Dragonflight, when people played solo shuffle, when it was new, it was exciting, it was fresh, there was lots of people queuing, the queue times weren't too long, people finally got to play the game. There's
Imagine
so
that.
many people that want to play PvP, but they just sit in LFG all day long.
And it's also, like, another little minor thing is, like, you know, one of the reasons why people don't like playing arena is tanks in arena. Have you ever played an arena game against a tank and had fun? Because I haven't. Played the game 15 years. I've never had fun. Yep, as a tank? Yes, exactly. Tanks really aren't a problem. Gone through 700 games without seeing a tank. Yeah, until they are. Yeah, they should not let you queue tank specs into arena. They're not fun to play against. In a way that is completely unique to tank specs. Tanking is designed for dragons, not players.
And then they play one game in LFG, and then they get kicked out of the group, and then they're back to
Of
LFG.
course.
So solo shuffle was actually like their godsend, where they could just play. Oh my god, I've got an hour.
Yep.
I'm gonna log on. I'm gonna play some solo
They'll
shuffle.
be able to queue for one
Great.
game.
I'm in this game. I get to play. It's fun. I'm gaining
Yeah.
my rating. I'm getting my rewards. This is amazing. And then obviously, in season 2, with like ratings being gate kept and stuff like that, I feel like it lost a little bit of popularity, but hopefully it'll pick back up now that they've added some more rating and stuff like that. But yeah, I really feel like a solo queue mode actually is like the future of WoW. I know you guys hate me saying that. Like maybe I don't even want to admit it to myself, but unless there's like some better way for people to queue threes, it's always going to be this thing where it's like you have such an extremely difficult time to play unless you already have friends, which
Yeah.
lots of people don't, or unless you're already heavily invested in the community, which a lot of people aren't, you know?
It's also that the hardcore players, like, the ceiling gets higher, the really good players get better, but the floor stays the same. So, like, a new player that's playing WoW is just as shitty as you were whenever you came into the game playing it, basically. Like, assuming, like, there's no PC issues, or, you know, it was like back before, like, the internet was like, there was nothing on the internet to look stuff up for. Like, the floor stays the same and the ceiling just gets higher.
Like they don't have any. There are people that are even super invested in the community. They can't find anyone to play with. Most of the time, I log on. Nobody wants to play. I have a friends list full of like gladiators and rank ones and stuff like. 90% of the time, nobody wants to play. So I just sit in LFG or I sit in solo shuffle. You know.
There you go. It's not a surprise at
when I
all.
want to play Overwatch, I just log on, game. Want to play Dota? Log on, game. 2 seconds. So I don't know exactly how we.
Yeah,
get
you can immediately start playing the game without having to deal with a bunch of bullshit. And with WoW, there are so many barriers to entry, and raiding is the same thing. Like, it's just there's just too much in the game, man.
there, but I feel like
These are
It's
not
important.
MMORPGs, but WoW, yeah, and you're right. But like those games compete for the attention of players that are interested in PvP. Like for people that are like you guys, do y'all remember back in like Cataclysm where a lot of WoW PvPers quit WoW to play League and Dota? That was like a really big thing back then. Like there were tons of people that moved over from like WoW over to League or Dota. There's a massive wave. And I remember like everybody was moving over and like I was thinking about it. I didn't want to because I had just gotten Invincible. So it's like, well, I'm not going to quit now. I just got this mount. And so I never played League or Dota. But yeah, a lot of people did. That's true. I forgot about yes. So like while these other games are not MMOs, they are competing for the attention of players that would play WoW as an MMO if those games did not exist. People always complain there's not enough content. Now they're complaining there's too much. You can't win, dude. No, that's not true. When were people complaining there wasn't enough content? Because that wasn't happening in the context of PvP. Nobody was ever complaining, wow, I get my gear too fast. Shadowlands? Did you play Shadowlands? Wait, did anybody here actually put themselves through the fucking self-harm of playing Shadowlands? Because that's not what happened. In Shadowlands, you had to upgrade your gear with Honor 50,000 fucking times just to use it. Everybody hated that. This is the exact opposite. That's why they changed it in Dragonflight. People don't remember anything.
I think that there is a good solo queue mode, and there's got to be like more convenience. Like I really want more people to play WoW. I do. I love this game.
Not gonna happen.
I'm not shit talking. Like I'm not shit talking. World of Warcraft is literally that. Like I've dedicated my life to this game in a lot of ways.
Yeah, you play a lot. Yeah.
I love this game.
I played the game a lot
nothing
too.
But it's success. But I feel like there's some.
I mean, he's been sitting in queue. Like, here's a fucking problem. You guys can't see it. But, like, it says average wait time 17 minutes. Time in queue, 12 minutes. Like, this has been an 8-minute video. He's been trying to play one game. So what's the solution? There is no solution. You're not going to get new players for a game that gives you no clout, no money, no e-girls. And it's hard to learn. Like, that's just the truth. It's just not going to happen. Like, fuck, guys. Like, I mean, really. Like, I'm just trying to be honest here, all right? You can't fix that. Yes. Well, you can, but they're not going to.
Hurdles that need to be, jumped over, and I feel like there's got to be, like, some changes, like, some big changes, you know? And I hate add-ons. It's a different conversation, but I hate add-ons.
They should just take add-ons out of the game. Just take them out. Any add-on that changes the way that you view combat data, take it out of the game.
I think that the UI needs to be improved and add-ons need to be pruned from the game.
Yeah. My man.
I think
fuck yes.
If for no
Yep.
other reason
Absolutely.
than making it more accessible to new players.
Yes.
That is
100 fucking
But yeah,
percent.
it's an interesting take. I know a lot of people disagree with me. That's fine. I'm willing to change my mind on what I'm saying as well. Like I'm not totally set in my ideas, but I do feel like I'm on the right track as to why it's hard for people to want to play, you know?
Yeah, of course.
There's too many abilities right now too. Legion was the last surge of new players. The game stuck around and grew because it's the most simplistic in recent times. I really do believe that. I'm not gonna lie. This is something we watched yesterday. You guys want to see it? I genuinely believe with all of my heart and soul that damage rotations in this game are way too complicated. Like, they are way too complicated. There's too many modifiers, there's too many cooldowns, there's too many abilities, and a perfect example is an Arcane Mage PvE guide. I'm going to show you this, okay? This is going to freaking blow your mind, okay? We're just going to watch this for a second. Imagine you're a new player and someone's trying to explain this to you, okay? You're like, I want to get into raiding. How do I do damage as an Arcane Mage? Let's watch.
Now let's head into this single target rotation. 15 seconds before the pull, you want to be spamming Arcane Explosion to fish for clear casting procs. This part may vary based on your haste levels, but in general, 9 seconds before the pull starts, you want to cast Evocation so you can start stacking Siphon Storm. At around 3 seconds, you want to cast a Rune of Power into an Arcane Blast precast and Arcane Orb. The pull has now begun, and we already have 4 Arcane charges, so we're ready to start our Arcane Surge burn. However, this burn will change based on if you have double Time Warp activated or not. So if you plan on popping double Time Warp, you want to immediately stack Arcane Harmony to 20, then continue with the burn rotation. If you aren't popping double Time Warp, then you don't have to worry
Has the fight started yet? Yeah, is this... No, the fight hasn't even started. Okay.
Arcane Harmony and can immediately start with Radiant Spark when the pull begins. After Radiant Spark, we cast 3 Arcane Blasts into Arcane Surge and Nether Tempest. Now, If Time Warp is up, you want to cast Arcane Blast and Spell Q Arcane Barrage into it. If you're not sure what it means to Spell Q, I'll have an explanation of it down in the description. If you're not in Time Warp, then forget about Arcane Blast, just cast Arcane Barrage, and Touch of the Magi while Barrage is traveling, but right before it lands. The reason that we pop Touch of the Magi while Barrage is traveling is so that we gain about an extra second of Touch of the Magi uptime, while still benefiting from Barrage inside it. Also, Touch of the Magi itself gives us 4 Arcane charges, so right after Touch of the Magi, we want to follow a simple priority list. Nether Precision buffed Arcane Blasts, clear casted Arcane Missiles,
This is a
and
simple
regular Arcane
list.
Blasts. Now, due to Arcane Bombardment, if your target is under 35% health, you want to Barrage and have it land just before Touch of the Magi ends. Otherwise, use Presence of Mind to fit one last Arcane Blast into Touch. And finally, if you're in Double Bloodlust, you want to cast a Barrage on the last global of your Arcane Surge buff. Otherwise, just follow the priority list as usual, and once your Arcane Surge buff wears off, cast Shifting Power, and that's the end of the Arcane Surge burn. Now, I know this may be a lot to take in all at once, especially since the rotation changes so much based on if Lust is active or if the target's in Execute. My best advice would be, take it one step at a time, first learn the rotation without Lust or Execute, and then gradually start incorporating the other conditionals. To help you out with this, I created a cheat sheet that you can find in the description of this video, and it'll have everything you need to know about the rotation, so you can have that pulled up on the
Back
side.
in Wrath, what you needed to do is you would do fucking for Arcane Mage, you would cast Arcane Blast. And you would do that 4 times. And then you would cast Arcane Missiles. And then sometimes you would get a proc, and you could cast Arcane Missiles again. Now, after that, you go back to Arcane Blast.
While practicing.
Bro,
After
like,
this-
come on, man. Like, come on,
insane.
bro. That is too much, man. Like, it's too much. I get it.
Yeah.
People, you want the rotations to be
And
interesting.
this is the thing, right? Is that WoW, the developers are trying to make the game rewarding for people that play it as a job. Good job. You've succeeded. They have succeeded in that, and it has happened. But here's the issue. Nobody else is going to have any fucking fun.
Enough where you're not just playing classic spamming Frostbolt. I totally understand that. And maybe you don't even want the rotation as simple as like Wrath of the Lich King, where like you're spamming Arcane Blast, you have charges, you buff up, like your abilities are getting buffed by your charges, and then you know, use your Barrage to dump your charges and reset, and if you happen to get a proc, you use that. Like, I feel like there's enough complexity there, so it's still fun. But like Legion was a good example too, of like the rotations weren't too ridiculous, but now
No, they weren't that bad. It's like back in the day, you know, if you were playing a Warlock in Classic WoW, your rotation, you could do your rotation with the garage door opener. You just Shadow Bolt, Shadow Bolt, Shadow Bolt, Shadow Bolt, Shadow Bolt. Done. All right, boss is dead. How'd I do? All right, pretty good. And that's it, because a lot of people played that.
it's like, it's crazy, bro.
I got a 99.
Crazy. So, yeah, anyways,
99,
that's what I think.
Pre-pull, what you want to do, you want to cast it before the boss gets pulled so you get the first one in there earlier. And that's about it.
I think there's like some challenges that face World of Warcraft, and like I said, I love this game, but the rotations for some things are a bit convoluted. Yeah, 100%. Legion had so much choice just because everything did stuff. Like half your buttons
The
don't.
ID say rotations for some things are a bit convoluted.
A little bit, yeah. I'm not even joking. You need like a 4-year college degree to be able to DPS as Arcane. You need literally like a 4-year college degree to DPS as an Arcane mage in PvE. It's way too crazy. Shadow Priest is just as complicated, but these two specs are exceptions. I mean, I was looking at let me see if I can find it. I made a list of Frost Mage abilities. These are just attacks. This is look at this, okay? This is Frost Mage after the rework. Okay? I'm gonna show you guys this. As a Frost Mage after the rework, these are your attack buttons. These are all things you need to have keybind to do damage. You need to have Frostbolt, Ice Lance, Flurry, Frozen Orb, Blizzard, Cone of Cold, Frost Nova, Fire Blast, Arcane Explosion, Blast Wave, Ray of Frost, Glacial, Ice Nova, Comet Storm. Ebon Bolt actually got pruned. They literally pruned it. So Ebon Bolt did get
Blizzard's
pruned.
making the game easy again,
Then
huh?
for your Water Elemental alone, you need Water Jet Keybind, you need Pet Attack Keybind, you need Pet Freeze Keybind, and then if you happen to PvP, you also need to use Ring of Fire, and you also need to use Frostbomb. And these are just attacks. It's a lot. Now, I've heard people of the opinion that there are people that have the opinion that it's better to have more attacks, which means more options, which means higher skill cap.
No. The idea that you can only be good at a game if there's a lot of buttons in the game, that's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. How many buttons does Counter-Strike have? How many buttons does League have? MMO player logic? Yes. People are so fucking stupid, man. Again, it is people that want their 15-year time investment into a video game to matter. Well, guess what? It looks like Vinruki's going to give me a quest. Guess what? It won't, because everybody else quits.
Like, I've had that conversation with people,
Yeah.
but it's a bit much. I think compared to, like, this is Legion. So on Legion, you had spammable Arcane Blast, Explosion, and Barrage. When you got procs, you used missiles. You had Arcane Orb as a short CD. You had Mark of Alaneth and Arcane Power and Palm as your long CDs. You had 4 defensives: Temp Shield, Priz Cloak, Ice Block, Greater Invis. Your utilities were Mass Invis, Shimmer Displacement, Nova Slow, Spell Steal.
Even that's too much.
And it was the most
That's
fun
way too much. Like, it's just my opinion. I don't think you need Greater Invis. I don't think you need Temp Shield. You just need one of these. Get rid of Slow. Let's see. Probably get rid of one of the ones that I think that's probably a little bit better. It's fine. It's a lot better.
This is literally one of the most fun specs I've ever played in my entire life. League of Legends has, like, well, that's what Zico says. Like, he's like, why is League of Legends so fun to play? Like, why are MOBAs so fun to play? You have 4, 5, 6 buttons. Maybe and then you add like flash or whatever. You have like 7 buttons, but every button does something.
Yeah.
Meaningful. Every button.
People hated the prune though. Remember what I said? I said that they were right for doing it.
Press feels like it actually matters. Yeah, but there's been plenty of times, Axton, where, you know, those little buttons. Oh, listen, I understand, man. Like, yeah, I get it. World of Warcraft is never going to be a game that has 5 buttons, but I feel like you could have like 20. You know, you could have like 20 buttons, and that's fine. 20 is kind of a lot for casual gamers. Yeah, even 20 is fucking crazy.
I think it should have like 10 to 15. Like 10 to 15, it's an MMO. It's more complex. Like, I don't want to see, like, you don't need, bro. The game was fun in vanilla, and it didn't have that many buttons. Like, that's it. I don't want to fucking play some piano. Please stop.
But it's better than 40. The ability prune after WoD pretty disliked. Well, it's because they pruned like iconic, really fun abilities like Grounding Totem.
And also keep in mind that even in vanilla WoW, there were a lot of bullshit abilities that you probably didn't really need. Like, I'm gonna give a hot take. I think Heroic Strike is stupid. It should have never existed. It's a shit ability. The way it plays is shit. Everything about it is shit. And they made a good decision in Cataclysm. Remember, they made it a secondary ability. Same with Cleave. It was a glorified auto. It's a yellow auto attack. It's like fuck. They convince people that this is gameplay. Also, Rend. I feel like we didn't really need Rend. I'm gonna be real. Don't need Rend, especially not in PvE. No reason to have it. Let's see. Besides that, oh fuck. Rend's great in PvP. Yeah, a little bit. But it's a cosmetic thing. Like, only reason you use Rend is to make sure a rogue doesn't run away. That is the dumbest, like, so you put an entire ability in the game just to counter one class? Get the fuck out of here. That's a waste. Rend should be applied by an auto hit. Yeah, something like that. No, it shouldn't. It should just have deep wounds. That's it. That's all you need. Dots are interesting. How many? Maybe give people 50 dots. That would be so interesting, huh? Slam. Yeah, they should have... Slam shouldn't be in the game either. Yep, you're right. You've got fucking Bloodthirst, and you got Whirlwind, and you've got Cleave and Heroic Strike as fucking active attacks that are off GCD. And you have Hamstring and Execute. That's it. Do we need anything at Revenge? Nope, take it out. Revenge sucked in Classic. Just take it out of the game. Overpower? Yeah, I guess Overpower would be alright. Moral Strike? Yeah. So that's about 8-10 buttons. We got it.
It's not like, yeah, they pruned like really crazy important abilities. The biggest reason I can't play retail right now is the complex damage rotations. Complex damage rotations are not what makes combat fun for me. It's not what makes combat fun for a lot of people, man. Like, it should not be. I'm telling you, even if you want to have like a bunch of like utility
Somebody
spells,
says Rend is useful. It's spread with Thunderclap, and it's crazy good damage with Arms PvP bleed build. Bro, that was not in Classic WoW. That was in Wrath and Cataclysm. Like, you don't even remember. Like, you don't remember. Like, please stop.
that are interesting, I'm down for that. But I swear the way you deal damage in this game is way too complicated.
It is.
I really believe that.
Yep.
I think most specs, their damage rotation is way too convoluted. There's way too many buttons that don't really do that much, but you're still forced to press. Like, how many spells do you think should be in a damage rotation? Like 5 single target,
1.
like 2 or 3 AOE or something
One
like that.
button. You
a
just hit
couple
that one
cooldowns.
button until they
I had a
did.
lot of fun in TBC just pressing Ice Lance and Frostbolt. Yeah,
You just get them
You're playing
until
Arcane
they're
by choice,
done.
but you don't like complex damage rotations. Well, believe it or not, Arcane's damage rotation is significantly less complicated in PvP. It's still complicated. Like, the concepts are complicated, but the actual buttons you press are way less complicated. The complexity of the game is what is killing its popularity. Making it easier to play would pull in more people, but it would make it less appealing for people that can play for
It's
hours.
not. It's just also that it's the time wasting mechanisms. It's having to run back after a raid wipe. It's having to get somebody new for your raid, but you don't have a warlock, so you have to have 2 people go out and summon them, and then running back. It's clearing 10 minutes of trash. It's having a boss and one person does something wrong in a 20-man raid and everybody else dies. That's what's killing the fucking game as well. No, everyone's Soulstone's heroes to prevent the run back. They should put that in a base game. If everybody's okay, so let me get this straight. So this is now like a skill cap to avoid wasting. So like, you have to be good at not letting the game waste your... What the fuck are we talking? What the fuck is going on? Well, what if somebody releases? They clicked the wrong button. Oh, I accidentally released. Oh, okay, well, get a summoning stone down. Oh, we don't have a warlock. Okay, he's got to run back. The trash respawn, though. Oh, shit. What? Oh my god, what is this?
On end every day. I don't think that's true though.
WC predictions for the weekend.
I don't think that's true. In BFA they tried to make it easier to play and it had the opposite effect. I feel like Legion was pretty Legion had pretty clean rotations.
BFA was easier to play. You had like 50 different damage and like that's no way.
I kind of agree with Knight.
They
Like,
made WAD easier to play. Yeah.
I feel like all
But
the
that was
specs
it.
that I played in Legion were like they were good.
Yes.
How to get more people
Legion,
to play
the
baseball?
game
Let's make
felt
everyone use
complete.
T-bars. We actually had, this is kind of like a repeat of a conversation we were having earlier. But I think the biggest problem is it just takes a really long time to get into WoW. Like the major challenges WoW has is like if somebody watches WoW and then wants to play it, going from watching
That
it.
doesn't happen. So nobody watches a WoW arena and it's like, wow, this is fun. I want to play this. First they have to look up what happened. That takes 6 hours.
To playing what you're seeing is months of work, months and months and months and months and months of work.
Yeah.
And then also, even if you do all the work, like
You don't get invited.
another
to a
challenge
group.
with WoW, and like I keep feeling like I need to say this because, like I said, I love this game, dedicated my life to this game, favorite game I've ever played in my whole life. Okay, so let's just get
He's
that out of
gonna
the way.
shit on it now.
Even if you do everything, so here's another problem
don't
with
get
WoW is
invited.
even if you do everything, let's say you actually buy the game, you level up your character, You farm full honor gear and full conquest gear. You download all the add-ons you need. You set up all the add-ons you need. Everything is great. You just
Working
you farmed
hard.
everything. You spent weeks and weeks and weeks, months and months and months. You finally got everything. Most of the time, you're just gonna log in and not have anyone to play threes with, so you can't play. Or if you're gonna solo shuffle, it takes 30 minutes in queue.
Yeah, just keep in mind that Venruki just recorded a 19-minute video while he was in queue, as far as I know, for one game. And that's a fact. It's right
That's
there.
the
You
biggest
just
obstacle.
watched it happen.
Right.
Venruki is a legend. This guy has been playing WoW forever. Like, he's such a good guy. Please make sure to give him a like, give him a sub. He still plays WoW PvP. He needs all the help he can get, man. Like, you're gonna get fucking cucked by this game. The PvP. Come on, guys. Let's go. Let's try to help Venruki out. Yeah, people, you have a React content in the middle of arena queues. You watch one of the movies of Lord of the Rings. You know, like, it's simple. Raider.io killed the game? No, it didn't. Raider.io had nothing to do with it. People, you don't know this. Like, everybody is like, they always act like, what the fuck? People, nobody fucking remembers shit. In vanilla WoW, you would go to the banks of Stormwind and you would get inspected and either kicked out or invited to a group. Based off of a mage raid leader that sees a warrior in leather gear and assumes that you're a fucking idiot. In Burning Crusade, you would get invited or not invited based off of how much health you had, because you had a lot of stamina, it meant you had good gear. And guess what happened? You had people full of fucking arena gear, except for you had other people that had min-max tier 4 or tier 5 gear, never got invited. And then in fucking Wrath, of course, we had gear score. Then in Cataclysm, we had item level. And also at that point, we also had achievements, right? It's like, I remember I used to tell people that like getting Kingslayer was like getting a college degree. You could finally join raids. So it has, you were the one checking gear? No, I was actually the one getting gear checked at that point. But like in Classic, yeah. Like people, it's always been like this. It's always been like this. Like it was like this before Raider IO. It was before like this before fucking item level. It was like it was always like this. There was no magical mythical time where you just get invited into a group because you've got a great personality and you're ready, you're a go-getter. No, that doesn't fucking exist, man. And it never did. It was always the same shit. I don't know why they still have depletion in Mythic Keys. I feel like if you deplete a key in WoW, they should make it to where everybody's key goes down. Actually, yeah, that's what they should do. They should make it to where, like, if you deplete a Mythic Plus key, every person's key goes down by 1 level. Because, like, yeah, no, why not? I mean, I think it's kind of unfair. Sounds very fair because everybody takes the risk. Yeah. Like, I completely agree. Yeah, true accountability. Well, if you have one person that just wants to watch the world burn and depletes keys on purpose, maybe you should be able to see what their key is to see if they actually should care. You know, if you see somebody has like a 7 and like, you know, like, oh, this person doesn't care if it gets depleted or not. But yeah, I'm surprised that they haven't gotten